Hello everyone, I am here with a quick walkthrough of the assignment 4. In this assignment, you're going to be leveraging the ideas that we went through in week 4, pairing with the dog class and the test, and the item and outdoor store classes to implement a pretty rudimentary bank account. Now, this driver file is provided for you, and essentially, when you run this file for this first time, you're going to be prompted with asking to enter a current balance for the account. So for this balance, you can put something below the max of the account as well. So for purposes of testing, I'm going to put 150. And then if I want to enter a max, I'm going to put 500. And then if I want to put a name, I'm going to just put John. Now, to actually showcase what's going on, these 3 lines of code that is happening right here is putting into or is from these lines of code. And what happens is that we actually create a default account per the instructions of the assignment. You need one bank account that's default and then one that's actually created based off the input of these. Now, once we hit enter, you'll notice that I don't get really anything out here because all my stuff down here hasn't been implemented yet. But essentially what happens is you're going to first test the default account and you're going to try and get the account formatted string using the string.format method that we saw in week 4, and then print out that method for the items in the account. And then after that, we're also going to get the account console, which is essentially something that is printed to the console right away. This is in the last lecture, 4.3, where we talk about strings. 4.2, excuse me, talk about formatting strings. So double check that if you're a bit confused on formats. Now you'll see here that in my testing, I go ahead and I set the balance, set the max, and I set the name. And you'll see here that we actually, these variables and methods are all defined for you already inside of this boilerplate code of bankcount.java. You'll just need to put in your instance variables and then figure out the logic down here of how to do this. So a lot of the heavy lifting is kind of done for you already with the bank account and the constructors. You don't need to rely on the same names here. Make sure that you can kind of change them around if you'd like, and then fiddle around with these too. But again, down here is where I wanted to showcase these are the 2 different formats of the strings. And you'll see here that this returns a string object for us to print out. And this one just prints to the console right away. Now, the custom account is the same type of testing as the one above it, except instead of doing a default parameter here, which will be created inside of this default constructor, it's going to be ones that we provide for it. So again, I actually have the solution output over here. So if I run this code in my solution, I'm going to put 150 and then 500 for the max, and I'm going to type in John, and you'll notice here that I get 4 lines of text for each one. So for my default account, I go ahead and I say my account owner is default, the accounts balance is 10, and the max is 100. And that's all my default constructor. Again, I print it out, and you'll see that these are duplicating. You might be wondering, why is it duplicated? Well, we print out the formatted string using the .get account formatted method first, and then we also get the account console method, and what that should do is print to your console as well. So you're going to actually see double with both of these, which is fine. Just make sure that you can implement both ways of formatting your string. Now you'll see here that I go ahead and I modify the values using my set values or setters over here. And then when I print out these values again using the same type of methods, you'll see that I get the fix up there. And now you'll see here, I typed in 150, 500 and John, and this was provided into the code right here. So you can see that the account owner is John, the account's balance is 150, and its max balance is 500. And again, you do not need your strings to look identical to this. You can very briefly just say name, testing, balance, 10,000, max 20,000. But again, this is just to familiarize ourselves with how to create these methods and so forth, and how to access them, and then fiddle around with private and public values too. So again, this bank account driver, you do not need to modify anything in here. You could just hit play and the output should be similar to what you should be expecting. In your bank account code, though, this is where you'll be doing most of your work. And again, please leverage the discussion posts and ask me any questions on this assignment. Thank you.